Hello and welcome to our fourth video, I think it is, on the topic of photosynthesis. To start us off today, there is a question on the board. I would like you to have a think, pause the video. What conditions can a farmer control in a greenhouse to increase his or her yields? Pause the video, have a think, you don't need to write it down, press play when you're ready to go over the answer. Okay, so you should have had a think about this question now on the board. Different limiting factors could have been given as an answer. So carbon dioxide levels, temperature, water supply, humidity. You could have had light intensity, light duration. These are all things that would increase the yield of a plant. So today's title, which you need to write in your books as you would do for any other lesson, Optimising Photosynthesis. By the end of the lesson, you should be able to name some factors that will increase the production of food from plants. You should be able to explain how the factors that increase food production from plants can be controlled, and you should be able to evaluate the benefits and pitfalls of manipulating the environment to increase food production from plants. So, first thing we need to think of is if we grow plants outside in the cold, they will grow very, very slowly. This is because the enzymes inside of the plant are working slowly, photosynthesis is slow, and therefore the plant will grow slow. So plants grown outside in cold conditions will grow slowly as it affects enzymes involved in photosynthesis. Now, this is a problem for farmers who rely on growing plants for their living. So we can say that this is a problem for farmers who rely on growing plants to make a living. To make a living. We say that this decreases what's known as their yield. Now you will hear this word yield in chemistry as well, okay? But when we talk about yield in any sort of reaction, it's how much of a product we can get from a reaction. In this case, we can say that plant yield is the amount of crop produced, the amount of crop produced over a given time. So that given time might be over one season of growing. Okay? Now I can't remember if I've put an image on the PowerPoint, I haven't, but plants can be grown in greenhouses to increase their yield. So we can say that plants can be grown in greenhouses to increase yield. Okay, and we can say that greenhouses give the following advantages. So greenhouses give the following advantages. Dot dot. The first advantage is that they trap heat from the sun. So they trap heat from the sun. This is useful because if you're trying to grow plants outside, they get too cold. By trapping heat from the sun, the greenhouse warms it up so they grow faster. Our second advantage, we can say that carbon dioxide sources can be placed in the greenhouse. So carbon dioxide sources can be placed in the greenhouse to increase CO2 levels. Another advantage, and there is quite a few, is that paraffin heaters can be used to increase both temperature and CO2 levels. Both temperature and CO2 levels. We can say that watering systems can increase water to plants. So watering systems can increase water to plants. We've got that blinds can be used. So blinds, it's the wrong colour. Blinds can be used to regulate light levels. We've got humidifiers. Humidifiers can add moisture or water to the air. Can add moisture to the air, which is good for plants. And finally, greenhouses protect the plants from being eaten. Okay, so plants, if they're grown outside, grow far too slowly. This is because it's too cold and therefore the enzymes are not working optimally. This can be a problem if you're a farmer and you rely on growing plants to make a living. You want a high yield of plants, which is the amount of crop produced over a given time. To overcome this, plants can be grown in greenhouses to increase their yield, and the greenhouses give the following advantages. They trap heat from the sun, increasing the temperature. Carbon dioxide sources can be added to increase CO2 levels. Paraffin heaters can be used to increase both temperature and CO2 levels. Watering systems can be used. Blinds can be used to regulate light levels. Humidifiers can add moisture to the air, and they also protect plants. Okay. Now, also, if you're a farmer, you want maximum crop yield. Okay. You don't want your plants growing big roots. So we can say that farmers want their plants to grow large fruits / vegetables but not waste glucose, on growing roots. Now, this is where a very specialist technology is used that you need to know about. This technology is known as hydroponics. Hydroponics can be defined as growing plants with mineral solutions without soil. So, growing plants with mineral solutions and no soil. Okay? This reduces the size of the roots grown. So this reduces the size of roots grown by plants. Okay. Now, the very final thing I'm going to say is that some scientists and some farmers even use computer systems. So computer systems can be used to monitor and change conditions closely. So, you should now be able to name some factors that will increase the production of food from plants. You should be able to explain how the factors that increase food production from plants can be controlled, and you should be able to tell me some benefits and pitfalls of different methods. If you're not sure of any of those, do some research, use the internet, use any textbooks to add to your notes. If you have any questions, comment below in Google Classrooms or send me an email directly and I will get back to you as soon as I possibly can. Until next time, take care.